for in your busy schedule, always a definite amount of time. Even you study for 1 hour, just study
Okay.
every day. Don't miss any single day. So that because the more the continuity you have, the more
Yes.
confidence you get.
Hi, Nitin. Thanks a lot for making yourself available for this interview. Uh, this week, you shared a great news with me, the fact that you passed your PE Power exam. It's almost the end of the year, December 23rd, and I think a couple of days ago, you got your results. So, congratulations. And it's really impressive to end the year on such a high note. So during this interview, Nathan, I'd like to go through your FE electrical and computer exam preparation journey as well as your PE power exam preparation journey. So let's start with your FE. My first question is, when did you graduate from school? What motivated you to take the FE exam? And when is it that you really got going with your FE exam preparation?
Hi Wasim, thank you so much for the continuous support for the exam. I graduated in December 2018, and after that, I joined ETAP working as a power engineer. So I was working for 2 years, and then I decided to take the FE exam. I started with I got some books and I tried to use those materials, and it was giving me a difficult time, especially because of the long syllabus you have and the wide syllabus you have in the FE exam. So I thought like it's better to have a course which can guide you better. So that's how I took your course, and it really helped me during the FE exam with my work schedule, busy work schedule, and all those things. And it went pretty well. I prepared for 2 months, and it helped me in on subtopics even which I was not familiar with. So yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of the FE exam, now you have recently passed the PE Power exam as well. Uh, what's different between the FE electrical exam and the PE Power exam?
So I feel like the FE exam, if I recall properly, there are like 15 or 16 chapters in it or subtopics.
17, the
Yeah.
17 sections.
So right. So you are being tested on all 17 of them, even you are not you don't have an expertise on those. So
Right.
especially for me, like I work in a power system industry, so I'm not much familiar with power electronics or you can say networking and all those things.
Hmm.
So those are being tested in FE, but they are not being tested in depth. You are being asked for a basic knowledge of all 17.
Yeah.
But in the PE exam, it's being divided into the four parts, and it's the core, power system, electrical. That's what you are being asked for, and it's being asked in depth, basic questions, in the practicality, codes,
Right.
protections, and all those things.
So it's narrow but very deep.
Yes.
So your earlier comment that you made, you're a power systems engineer working for ETAP. Like every power systems engineer has either used or at the very minimum heard of ETAP, right? All the modeling R&D and cutting edge power system design essentially for very complicated studies, large scale networks. I've used ETAP as well. I've used SKM, and I've had students both from ETAP and SKM. Uh, so you obviously like a 110% power systems guy. Now you mentioned that when you have to study about networks or computer systems and digital logic, it obviously doesn't carry over to your job. So now you use the on-demand FE electrical and computer exam preparation course. If you look at some of the students' comments online, things that students find challenging to prepare for, and in fact, when students enroll in my FE electrical on-demand course, I ask them like, what are the 5 topics, 5 sections that you think that you will struggle most with? And majority of the students actually pick software, computer networks, computer systems, and digital logic, control systems sometimes. Now, having gone through the FE electrical course without having a lot of background in those topics, how do you think that course helped you patch those areas up or address the gaps and deficiencies to a point where you were able to comfortably pass the exam?
I think the course gave me a really good overview of all the topics, especially I would say like in the microprocessor. That's a topic which it's not like a common topic for any power system engineer. So on those things and computer networks, it really helped me because you have really covered every single topic of it. Even the lectures are big, but that helps you to get the deep knowledge because you are being tested on the theoretical perspectives on those chapters. It's not like you will be solving any special problems. If you know the basics and if you have learned properly from the lecture, it really helps you on those on your weak topics. But the remaining like mathematics and I would say uh,
Circuits,
circuits and those are
linear
like pretty
systems,
simple if you have done those in bachelor's, so
right?
those are easy to do, but it's a good refresher to do all of those. But
Okay,
I think, yeah, it was pretty good course. I think I would recommend to everyone really
okay, sounds
who's
good.
been out from school from some time and busy with
Right,
the work schedule. It helps you manage your work time. Like you study every day 2 hours.
right.
You attend few course and you have a specific time and you can clear it in an easy way.
Right. And my personal comment on computer systems, computer network software is that within the course, especially, and if you actually use the study guide, I think you use the study guide as well, this book, right, Nitin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it. It's Friday.
Right.
So I
So
completed this whole book with the course.
right. So the reason I did the third edition primarily was to address the computer portion. There were 100 new problems that I added. But within the course, just to close the loop on this, there's tons and tons of practice material. There's tons and tons of lectures. There are about 20 lectures, and average length of lecture, those 20 lectures in computer networks is about 30 minutes. So there's multi-hour content just on computer networks because I know students come in as a bit with a disadvantage, especially power systems engineers in some of these areas, and uh, it worked for you, and I'm pretty confident that it works for all the students that are enrolled in the course. And then if it is something that you're concerned about, I think it would be a good reason to consider it. Now
Mhm,
let's move on to your PE Power
mhm.
exam preparation. It's more recent and it's even fresh in my memory
Yeah.
because I remember. So I do a Zoom call with every single student of mine who enrolls in my FE or PE course. I just to sort of get them kickstart the exam preparation. And most of the students who are in my PE program are the ones who are going through the FE as well. So I know that when we chatted about the PE Power, that was earlier this year, and you enrolled into the course, but you're not necessarily 100% sure when you were going to take it. And then
Mhm.
you sort of started, things came in, life happened, right? And then you
Right.
stopped. And it was really around end of September, just 2, 3 months ago, that you were thinking about getting it done this year. And I was like, if you really fully commit yourself to it, then within just 2 months, 3 months, 2.5 months, you can get it done. Because I've had other students this year who went through my course with just 2 months of preparation, just the course, and they passed the exam in the first attempt. And I think it was somewhere around October that you made up your mind, right? Um,
Exactly.
and then you dived into it, and then you completed the entire course. You asked me good quality questions back and forth. You did my computer simulated practice exam within the P Power course. You did the NCA sample exam. You used the study guide, and you passed the exam. So
Mhm.
what's your advice? Like, do you think that everyone should consider getting it done in 2 months? Or if you didn't have other constraints you were working with, would you have taken more time? Or you also mentioned that it's your style of studying that you like to sort of put a lot of pressure on yourself and then squeeze it in a small amount of time and then get done with it. What are your advice? What's your experience and recommendations?
So for the preparation for PE, the very first thing I would suggest is book your exam with minimum 3 months. With
Okay,
a
not two
three
months.
months,
two
not two
months is not
months.
good.
It's not a good number. I would suggest 3 months as a safer side.
Okay.
If you are well prepared early, you can prepone the exam and do it.
Yeah.
So for me, like after just giving the FE exam, I thought like I enrolled in your PE course, and I thought like I'll do it right away. But
Yeah.
something came in my whole work schedule, so I was keep postponing it, keep postponing it, And in October, I thought like it's a good time because it's the end of the year and I wanna do it really. So it took me 70 days total to do it.
Mhm.
So I completed your course in roughly around I would say 5 to 6 weeks. I think it took me around 40 days to complete the whole course, and then I did your practice books. Computerless that simulated exam, and I think simulated exam gives you a really good feel of the exam, and you have the reference handbook, you solve all those questions. I think it's pretty good. You should for sure give the exam before that. And the NCS, we should solve it at least 2 times. That's what I feel, because some of the
NCS
questions.
sample exam.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because the some of the questions are really simple, but some of them are tricky. It's good to solve because for sure you'll see one or two questions in the exam, but in a different way.
Mhm.
So the best thing I like about your course is you cover each and every topic in depth, so that if something doesn't come in your practice, still you will be able to solve with your deep learning and how you handle the concepts. That's the most important thing. If you know the basics, you will be able to solve in the exam. Another best thing, man, you are really good in supporting this calls, 15 minute schedule call according to the availability. Suppose I was facing issues, I used to send you questions in the night time, and I used to get the reply early morning. So it was just the ball was rolling in my code, in your code. So it,
Yeah,
it was
also has
it
to do
was a
with the
good
fact that you're in the California time zone, right? Pacific, I'm on the Eastern, so that sort of helps as well. But
experience.
yeah, I know, like, especially like every single student of mine, but especially my PE Power students who have gone through the FE program, I really want to help you guys to get overcome that final hurdle, and really achieve that goal. Uh, so a few things that I took away from your recommendations. First, don't try for 2 months. And you know what, Nitin, it's not funny because it's actually funny because I did another interview earlier this year with another student of mine. He did it in 2 months as well, and he said, I think it's on the interview as well, uh, that don't try it in 2 months. It's rough. It's really demanding. Give yourself a little bit extra time, right? I mean, if your personal situation allows you, if you don't have too much going on in your life, and if there's other reasons that you need to get it done, then by all means, right? But it's difficult. Use good exam preparation resources that can streamline your exam preparation efforts. Put you on the correct path. Sort of not necessarily handhold you, but sort of guide you along the way. Uh, do a lot of practice, but also learn the concepts in depth, right? I think that should automatically come from the exam preparation resources that you're using.
Exactly.
Using the correct exam prep resources, then they will not only give you enough practice, but also give you in-depth understanding. Computer simulator practice exam and CS sample exam, you mentioned, do it a couple of times. There's some tricky questions in there, understand the concepts. And your exam day story, do you want to share the calculator? So after doing all
So
those things right, you mess something up.
yeah. So I went early. Like my exam was at 8 o'clock, so I reached there at 7. The door, those guys open at 7:30, and I was relaxing that I'm early there. And at 7:50, just 10 minutes before my exam, I remember that I forgot my calculator.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I was really scared, and I couldn't trust that virtual calculator how it would be.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
wouldn't trust a virtual calculator either. Like I wouldn't even trust like a calculator that I'm not used to. So as long as maybe it's the same model, that's fine. But
I'm used to the same thing, but I
yes,
couldn't find it anywhere. But I got something with the
they've changed the
Casio
model.
only.
They've changed the
Yeah,
model actually. Yeah.
but
It's
I was like I was able to figure it out during exam. What are the
wow.
functions of the new calculator?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that on the FE exam though. Like the P exam, 6 minutes per question, you still have a little bit of wiggle room. But on the FE exam, in less than 3 minutes, you really don't have the wiggle room, right?
Right.
So I can only imagine the stress that you went through, running to Target, trying to get a calculator, and then you have a huge 8-hour exam ahead of you. But despite all of that, I think that's where being over prepared helped, right?
Right.
because you were over prepared. You were asking high quality questions throughout your exam preparation, especially at the tail end, right?
Mhm.
I think you started off a little bit anxious, a little bit worried about especially code sections, and
Mhm.
you over prepared that, and there's a lot of code on the exam.
Mhm.
Uh, and then just being over prepared helps you to handle these types of situations, right? I actually
Exactly.
suggest when I don't know when was the last time we spoke, but I always recommend, especially students who are about to take the exam, guys, take two calculators, not only one, two calculators, right? What if even the one that you've been using for the last 6 months, you've used and abused it so much that the battery is now dead, and it's gonna die on you during the exam, right?
Right.
At the worst possible time.
Right.
So always take two calculators, right? So, but again, I think it shows that if you are over prepared, you can handle most of the situations. I don't think that you would have been able to sort of pull it off. It was, or I should say, me, if I was in that situation, and my calculator went missing or died. If it was an FE exam, I don't think I would have really been able to pull it off because the time margin is so small, right? But you
Right.
were lucky that it was PE and you had prepared so much in such a short amount of time that you made it happen.
Right.
Uh, so thanks a lot, Nitin, for sharing your entire FE and P journey. Um, any advice that you have for students?
Just always, I would say, for in your busy schedule, always a definite amount of time. Even you study for 1 hour, just study
Okay.
every day. Don't miss every single day. Don't miss any single day. So that, because the more the continuity you have, the more
Yes.
confidence you get. But if you miss one day, the next day you're gonna feel that what did I learn? Because there's a bunch of in-depth syllabus what you have to cover. But if you study continuously, it depends upon your personal schedule. You wanna allocate 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. For me, I was studying 3 hours continuously every day for
Yeah.
2 months, and I was able to clear. So the consistency is the key for this exam. That's what I feel, and for
Okay.
sure your course, because it helps you to get the in-depth knowledge of every topic.
Okay. And what would you say to somebody who has just passed the FE exam, FE electrical and computer exam, and is thinking that, I'm going to take the exam of 1 to 2 years from now? What would be your advice?
I think that person is delaying the exam, whoever it is. I would suggest to, at least if you gave the FE exam, you can take a 10, 15 days or a month break just to enjoy your celebration. But
Yes,
start it at least just after 1 month, because you are on that pace that you can
exactly.
study that long,
Yeah.
because it takes you some, like, at least 1 or 2 weeks to sit that much,
Inertia.
dedicate that
There's
much
inertia. Yes.
hours, and the circuits, and especially like all those DC things and
Yes.
power,
Yes. It
your
carries
knowledge
over.
is good. Yeah, your
Yes, it will
knowledge is
transfer. Yeah, I mean that's what I tell students as well. Like they are in a state of euphoria right after passing the FE exam, and I'm like, you know what, the job is half done. So if your state allows for an early examination, or if it's decoupled, like you should definitely make use of that advantage, right? And you said 10 to 15 days. I've had some students who just waited like less than a week and got started with the PE. The other students who, like, I understand, like everyone is different, right? Like you might have something going on in your personal life, something professional life, or you burn yourself out too much to a point where you feel like you could barely basically handle other things in life, which is fine. But like all else being equal, if you can continue your study momentum, make use of that, the habits and routines that you have, and also make use of the knowledge areas that are going to carry over to the PE exam. I think your job will probably be, it's rough to put an estimate, but I would say it will be probably 20% easier if you were to sort of 20 to 25% maybe easier if you were to sort of just get rushed through it in a single go as compared to you doing the FE right now. And in fact, to be honest, like you're a good example. Like you did the FE, I think December 2020, and then December, November 2020, late
Mhm.
2020.
Yeah,
You
December
want,
2020.
yeah, you wanted to do the PE early on in the New Year's, but things
Hmm.
happened, and then you basically went back to the routine in October. And and you still did it in 2 months, 2 months and 10 days or something. But as you said, like it takes a lot of effort to sort of build that momentum back up. So I think
Right.
that's a great advice. uh, yeah, so thanks a lot, Nitin, for your valuable time. And again, many congratulations on this wonderful achievement. And what a way to end the year, right? You've got
Yes.
yourself you gave your own self a nice present and a great achievement under your belt. uh, and this will do wonders for you in your future career. And you mentioned that you got a lot of recognition at work as well, and where a lot of people are already PE, so it helps you join their ranks. And good things are better things are still to come.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Wasim, and thank you for your immense support every time. I think it wouldn't be possible without your support, man.
You're most welcome. Thanks, Nitin.